Welcome to FutureX, the podcast where we look to solve the variable that is the future of Web3. Every week, we'll talk with some of the brightest minds in the blockchain and Web3 space, from top investors to founders and builders, paving the way for a decentralized world. So what is the future of blockchain? What will Web3 look like in 2050? Let's explore together.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to FutureX, SynFutures podcast series highlighting some of the brightest minds in Web3. I'm your host today, Rachel from SynFutures. So today we're very honored to have here Tai, the CEO, CIO, and Chief VC at SCB 10X. Hi, Tai. Thanks a lot for joining us. Could you give the audience a bit introduction of yourself and the fund?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Rachel and SynFutures for having me. Tai Panich. Yeah, always very, very happy to talk to you. So for me, actually my background is engineering. I went to undergrad and grad school in electrical engineering and computer science at MIT. After I graduated, I went to work in startup directly after graduated in Silicon Valley network microprocessor startup called SciBy. So I'm actually a circuit design engineer, VLSI circuit design. So there we design network microprocessor for router, and our customer at the time were the like of Juniper, Cisco. After 1.5 years that I went to join there, I joined as early employees, and after 1.5 years, we got acquired by Broadcom. So it was very interesting to see the startup that I think rose to unicorn status quite fast within like 2 years, and then got acquired by a big tech company. So I got to see, how it was like in startup field and how it was like transition from a startup into integrating into a big corporate. Yeah, so I was in engineering field for 5 years, and then after that I went to Harvard Business School, and then made a career transition into investment management. I always feel very interested and fascinated about investing because I feel that having background in technology, I actually learned a lot about the big picture of tech industry by investing, because it allows us to get to understand how things are connecting, about the supply chain, about supplier, customer, and things like that. Yeah, so that was my reason to go to business school and make a career transition into investment management. So for 14 years, I actually invested in publicly listed technology companies in the area like hardware, software, internet, robotic, AI, things like that. Yeah. So semiconductor capital equipment, so across the board. And then in 2019, I got approached by senior management of the Commercial Bank, because we went to school together in the US, about starting this unit outside the bank that will invest and build in disruptive technology. That is SCB 10X. And I thought that the idea was very interesting because they wanted to do the right thing to actually do outside the bank, because otherwise it would be very difficult to change the mindset of the people to invest in something that will disrupt themselves. Right. So I decided to take a leap of faith and come here to help start SCB 10X back in early 2020. So far it has been a lot of fun. Got to invest in a lot of interesting company, and we invest in the area that have the potential to disrupt the banking and financial services industry. And so we have been investing in the area of fintech, blockchain, crypto, AI, and other deep tech. Yeah. And for SCB 10X, we not just invest, but we also build, because we feel that to invest, build, buy, partner, are very important for the corporate in order to handle disruptive technology or innovation. And so that's why our unit is not just invest, but also build. So we have developer in-house that have strong technical capabilities, and they could build mobile app, they could build crypto blockchain, dApp, also could build in AI. Yeah, so those are the things that SCB 10X is known for.
Yeah, I was firstly very impressive to learn about that, and also actually an users of your products. So thanks a lot for this
Mhm.
amazing work. Can you, also brief to our audience on what is the relationship between SCB and your fund? Yeah.
Yeah, so we are the corporate venture capital arm and venture builder of SCBX. So SCBX is the holding um, of Siam Commercial Bank different business. So basically SCBX is a tech company that happen to be in the financial services industry and have the bank as one of the unit. So we pretty much are one of the unit of SCBX, one of the company under SCBX holding.
Sure. I mean, for the audience who's not very familiar with Thailand market, SCB is one of the largest
Yeah.
financial. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So SCBX is the holding, but of course, the origin of SCBX is Siam Commercial Bank. Siam Commercial Bank is the largest and oldest bank in Thailand, and the royal family started Siam Commercial Bank 117 years ago, and even today, the royal family still own the biggest stake of the bank. So I think we are the bank that have the long history of the banking and financial services involvement, and also our bank are quite innovative and really look to implement new technology and would like to be known as a tech company.
Yeah, and can you share a little bit about the stories on how, SCB decided to enter this industry, and also personally yourself, how do you first discover about like Bitcoin and decided to go full time in this industry?
Yeah, I guess in general for me, I'm always interested in technology and um, very much like a new area of tech because my background has always been in tech. I have always been investing in tech professionally, previously in publicly listed company. But even during the time that I was in investment management and invest in publicly listed companies, I also do private investment on my own. And so their interest in the new area, the advanced technology, always like in my heart. And for Bitcoin, I think I have heard about them since like 2015, but really looking into detail in 2017, I remember like we were in a company party and then I discussed about Bitcoin with a lot of my colleagues, and we were discussing about the technology and how it will be impacting the banking industry and things like that, because at the time we were looking at a lot of companies that related to financial services and fintech. Yeah, so the interest in Bitcoin is more like a personal at that time, and it's really like not serious and professional until I came to SCB 10X. At SCB 10X at the time when we started out, we actually would like to find the area that really could have the disruptive impact to the bank in the next like 3 to 5 years, and we really would like to be able to generate like strategic potential angle to the bank as well. So we were looking at like maybe 5 areas, and when it come into fintech, we looking at blockchain, but at the time there were a lot of enterprise related blockchain which people talk a lot about it, but didn't really take off. But when we came to DeFi, and at that time DeFi was just started. When we came to DeFi, we found that it's quite amazing that it's actually doing the same thing as what the bank was doing, but could do it so much more efficient. Very few people, and could have a lot of asset in the system. And so we thought that something like this, we should really understand and find a way to partner, invest, um, and then introduce this to the bank, because we look at it as like a software layer that potentially could help make the efficiency of running the back end of the bank to be much better. Yeah, and so that's why we came to look in detail in the early 2020 when we started SCB in DeFi and crypto area. And at the time when we started doing strategy, we very fortunate that we have a lot of bank um, senior people that also involved with SCB10X as a board member. So at the time, the bank also have the ambition of building the blockchain-based bank. So it's very, very helpful in that we could find very interesting and very, very good infrastructure, blockchain infrastructure company, and they could also be the customer, and the bank could be the customer of this company. So not only that we could be the investor, but the bank could also be the customer, and that worked very well. That we could get into very good deal that many people would like to get in but couldn't get in, because we could be both investor and the strategic customer to them.
I see. I mean, you look at, multiple sectors, and you also hold, multiple roles within SCB 10X. So how do you structure your day, and say, what is a normal day look like at your side? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Rachel. I think being a CEO is you do everything. Yeah, I think I do everything. I do investment, I do business development. I talk to my PR team. I have to talk to people who want to come to do partnership with us or want us to help something. I have to make a lot of introduction. Yeah, and there's always like problem, internally, like let's say people want to do something, they couldn't do it, and how to help them. We have to fill some role, we don't have enough talent in particular area. So the day always changing. But I try to structure the day so that like in the morning, when my mind is still fresh, I get to read a lot of things, because I feel that this job, the most interesting part is about learning new things. And I try to, do a lot of calls if possible in the morning, because that's when I feel precious to talk to the entrepreneurs, things like that. Yeah, in the morning. And then later part of the day is a lot of operation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And in terms of investments, I think you did business, and as well, help with different company across different
Mhm.
region, in US, Singapore, Thailand.
Mhm.
Um, what are the similarities and differences between the companies that you've been seeing in those regions?
Mm. Yeah, so I would have to say that the the company in like US, Israel, Europe probably still more well established in terms of like business model and the market target. Um, and so we tend to see a lot of talents that came out with unique business model, try to capture the market from there. Um, in Asia, I still feel that a lot of time the entrepreneurs are still not as well thought out in terms of a business model. Probably still have to take some time, a lot of time, like more unique business model tend to come from like US, Europe, Israel, and then the business model in Asia tend to be like the combination of what we've seen already in those markets or replication of what we already seen before. I still really want to encourage the entrepreneurs in Asia to come out with the unique business model that we have not seen before, or the combination of something that we have seen before, but combined into one. Yeah. So that's what I feel. And then really hopeful that in the future, a lot of talents that study abroad, in the US, would come back into Asia and then start all interesting company. Like I think like you at SynFutures and Matt, right? You guys study abroad and then come back in this area, and we also seen some of the entrepreneur in Thailand as well, like Bank Protocol and Alpha Finance. They study abroad and come back here and started uh, company and projects that more innovative. Yeah, so in general, like feel that the talents are still a lot more um, in the West compared to in the East, and I really would like to encourage people who um, have seen a lot of interesting idea from the West to come back and then start new things in the East, and then entrepreneurship too. I feel that a lot of time in Asia, entrepreneurship might still be considered like a lifestyle in some country, like in Thailand, for example. Some people like to be entrepreneur, but they like entrepreneurship to be like a SME. So they like to be their own boss, but they don't like to actually push themselves to grow exponentially and then try to exit the business very fast. They just want to be, like in a startup like business for 20 years, for example. But something like that is fine, no problem at all, right? But then if entrepreneur who want to get the funding from VC, they also have to understand that then VC will have to push them to grow exponentially because that's the way VC will have to push for the exit within the lifetime of their fund, things like that. Yeah, so that's what I feel too. That the mindset of startup founder in US, in China, and in the West are very much like they try to grow as fast as possible and then want to exit. But a lot of startup in Asia, I still feel except China. Outside China, I still feel that a lot of entrepreneurs still have this mindset that sometimes they really don't understand that maybe they should push themselves to grow exponentially and then try to exit as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's actually also true in some areas in China. I mean, like treat it more as a family business and
Mhm.
would hand over the business to their, their siblings or their sons and daughters rather than handing over to an, like professionals. So this also
Mhm.
thing in quite a lot of
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah, but
Uh,
that's no problem, right? Entrepreneurship come in like different form and intention. But I guess like for startup that really want to get the funding from VC, they also have to understand about this angle because like VC have to return the money to our limited partner and within a certain time frame, right? And sometimes I feel that the startup don't understand why is it that the VC push them quite hard. So it's about the alignment of objective.
Yeah, and you also pointed out a very important part that yes, the West, US, Europe still leading in terms of technology developments, and I'm not sure whether you are seeing like more talents coming back to Asia to build, or actually the trend is the other way around. I mean, for the past 1 or 2 years, yeah, yeah.
Mm, I think because of crypto and blockchain, we have seen, the brain drain back to the country and to Asia, I think, because the opportunity to work anywhere or work flexibly with the people in different region, right? Work remotely, so you can have talent in multiple country, and then and so that is much better because sometimes you kind of constraint in terms of talent. Like let's say if you have to be in Thailand and then you have to find the talent set based in Thailand to work with you, and then you cannot find the talent, you better be in the US and find the talent over there, right? Then that will limit you from for coming back to Thailand. But now it's very different. Like with crypto blockchain, you can work remotely anywhere. So we saw that some of the founders coming back to Thailand, but their team is still spread out everywhere based on wherever the talents are. So I think that also helped in terms of the talents have that flexibility of coming back home, and then try to help proliferate, this type of new technology in the country. I seen in other country like Indonesia, Philippines, right, Vietnam as well.
Yeah, and also you're pointing out that many of the business models still originated from the West, but then what do you see are the advantage or opportunities out there for Asian entrepreneurs, and which sector could this advantage be translating into, right? In a global scale to compare with their peers, West, yeah.
Yeah, I think in general regulation is quite tough in US right now, right? And so in other area outside the US,
Definitely.
is much more friendly in terms of regulation. So that is one thing that can be advantage. But in general to be in other location outside the US and Asia, of course, like the cost of living here is much cheaper, and then the lifestyle can be quite
Yeah.
fun, and the growth is here as well, right? A lot of application and projects in the US are there are many of them, but there's not many yet in Asia. So if you could come out with like unique project or project that similar to what already happened in the US, but you inject the differentiation, maybe the culture or the angle of the different type of Asian culture business model type that could capture the audience differently, the user differently. I think that might also be.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for pointing out the way for many entrepreneurs. Yeah. Regulations become tougher, and I would say, and also there's lots of, turmoil out there in the market for the past years, and can I understand? In terms of investments, have has SCB changed your investment approach during the past year? Yeah.
I think in general, like for us, we as a corporate venture capital, we always have to do a lot of due diligence anyway, even with the crypto blockchain during the peak, the round closed pretty fast, but we always have to do a lot of due diligence. So when the project that have to close pretty fast, we just like take our entire team and then divide the team into different tasks and then try to do due diligence as deep as possible by divide and conquer. But I guess that with the crypto winter and all the issue that happened on counterparty related, or on the fact that there's a fraud going on, our due diligence become deeper, and we also have to do a lot more in terms of the customer reference, the reference in general about like the founder and team and things like that. Yeah. And then the technology behind the counterparty, the regulation that might have an impact and things like that. So I think that one way that different is that it become even deeper due diligence than before. For us, we always look for certain area that we would like to invest, and we um, we invest in more serious project. I think in general, like we invest in first thing the infrastructure, the blockchain infrastructure area, and a lot of time we really try to see whether there's a potential to fit into our blockchain-based bank. And then second thing that we invest in application in blockchain that parallel to traditional finance. So it has always been that we haven't really invested in like NFT project or any project that seem a little bit more of a fad during like the past 2 years. We always have to be able to answer our bank board about why we invest in these projects, and why will it benefit to the financial services industry and things like that. Yeah. So in that angle, I would think that it doesn't change that much in terms of the projects that we look to invest, and we continue to invest. But I think since the second half of last year, we actually really look to invest in the project that intersection between AI and blockchain as well. We think that blockchain technology is definitely a game changing, and we continue to be very excited. But we think that there's a lot of intersection between blockchain and AI that could make the company have a deeper mode as well. And so we have been investing in the project like Together.xyz that just announced the funding round yesterday. So they do decentralized cloud AI. They pull together the underutilized GPU resources, and those computing power can be used to train the AI foundation model and large language models. So it's a decentralized cloud that really focus on AI. Use the computing power for fine tuning the model, training the model, things like that. Yeah. And then the way they use blockchain is that they use blockchain part for the payment to pay to the supplier of GPU. The user can use blockchain to pay the supplier. So it make the payment become much more efficient. And we thought that something like that is very interesting because, of course, like we have heard a lot that the cloud provider now see the computing power shortage because a lot of big models like OpenAI, GPT-4, things like that takes a lot of computing power to train the model. And so to pull together the unused or underutilized resource of GPU that are everywhere in the world to be used to train the model, that is something that we are excited about. And then this company Together, they also have the platform that they host the open source large language model, because we also believe in open source decentralization, the community come together and then help push the development in technology. It's actually the same ethos of blockchain, but now that ethos also come to AI as well.
Yeah, interesting. Are there any other areas that's being, like combining the services of AI and blockchain together that you are interested in and you see great potential in?
Yeah, no, we see other project like a company called Optic that use AI computer vision to solve that problem about fraud in NFT. Basically authentication of NFT using computer vision, right? Yeah, so that's also a combination of AI and NFT. So many projects are trying to do this, and then we hosted hackathon, blockchain hackathon recently at SCB 10X. It's called Bangkok Blockathon, and one of the team actually developed this project that use ChatGPT combined with wallet recovery. So a lot of time, there's an issue with wallet recovery. So they try to use ChatGPT as a social recovery of the Web3 wallet. So there are different things that people are exploring right now, combining, blockchain, Web3, and AI. And I thought that idea is interesting. There are a lot more that they have to develop in order to make the idea to actually be able to be a standalone company. But it is a first start, and then there are many things like this happening right now.
Yeah, interesting. I'm also very fascinated and excited about the developments. I've always been thinking like, what is the real applications of blockchains? And here it goes. I mean, with an AI come into play, and you know that the barriers of company will certainly break, right? Like ChatGPT, it does not only get information from one single company, right? But it would help you to source from different traditional companies, and then it has to be a very open models in order to maximize impact, right? But
Yeah.
for that to work, you always need an economic incentive and a ways of organizing different parties, and blockchain naturally come to fit, right? I mean, there's already one kind of incentive model out there for AI, this blockchain. So yeah,
Yep.
it would be exciting to see.
Yeah.
How do you, I'm not sure. I mean, there's lots of discussion out there. I mean, I'm certainly one of a believer that, human and AI does not have a huge difference. But from your perspective, if in 5 years, 10 years, internet should be shaped by the true technology, definitely, right? So how do you see? In 5 or 10 years, how the two could intersect together, and what could be the possible difference and product offerings that we see in the tech space? Yeah.
That's so hard to predict 5 to 10 years from now. I just feel that with generative AI, it's make AI much more interesting in terms of like creativity, because before we have AI for a long time, but you told the model to do certain things, so you kind of control them, but then now you kind of have them create things, whatever possible, right, from the data that they have seen when they got trained, and so now there's a lot of creativity, and there are many things that you can do. So we actually have one project that we are incubating right now in SCB 10X that use generative AI to do interior design. So you can actually take a picture of, let's say, a garage, and you want to convert that garage into a living room, and then it will take like the size of the space, and then recommend how it can look, and use basically like generative AI, right, to generate image, and it can generate like as many image as you wanted, and then it will generate like 4 at a time. So you just keep on, clicking, and then it will generate like different type of picture for you, and then you can also click to that you want like a contemporary, you want like the country style, you want rustic style, and it will totally suggest like different type of things for you, and so something like that, is very interesting, because it can be very creative, right? Anything could happen. Yeah,
I'm one of the potential customer who move a lot. I need such type of
yeah,
service.
yeah. That's right. Yeah, no, because like in the past when people use IKEA, they use IKEA because they like that IKEA give them the suggestion how the room should look like. If you don't have time, you go to IKEA and you just look at, oh yeah, this living room can look like this. And I'm not a creative person. I like suggestion, right? And I want to see like how it will be like, and then it use the tip AI to generate any possibility at all. Use the picture from the internet and then generate. And then in the future, we want them to be able to connect these to the real furniture. So for example, like they should be able to recommend the furniture that generate from the picture, right? Something that kind of match or similar to whatever in the picture. This you can find here, and then you can click and buy the
Yeah,
furniture.
definitely link to
Yeah.
e-commerce.
Yeah,
help
that's
you.
right. So it has to link to e-commerce. So many things like this can happen, and then people are very creative, and I think that's the ethos of open source decentralization, because like the moment you let the model to be open source, people all over the world come and then use it, and then they come out with all type of application that nobody thought about it before. Because like let's say if Facebook just keep that model internally and don't open it out, it will be the Facebook engineers that try to come out with a new application, right? But the moment they open it out, open source, so people all over the world in any geography location could decide to take this in different way, new type of application, new vertical, things like that. Yeah, so it's actually quite amazing that the power of the mass could really come up with totally new things that we never thought about it before. How to use all this, how to use this technology. Yeah, and I really also believe that the technology, the advanced technology like this, it should not be in the hands of a few, but it should be open source, decentralized, and yeah, people should be able to benefit and use all together.
Yeah. But are you concerned about the futures where, I mean, AI actually combined with blockchains to, I mean, lots of human might see Steve. I mean, like, I mean, I might even be ceased to exist, and then I mean, like, could be replaced by that, right? Because I think like one day I wake up and realize that blockchain is the currencies of AI and machine, right? If you think about
They
it,
take over our financial system.
exactly. I mean, if you think about it, Bitcoin is a systems, and it needs someone to help provide machine. I mean, computing power and storage. And how? I mean, like as a machine, you don't have any power and cash. So he invented this Bitcoin network, invented this thing called the Bitcoin, right? So basically, the machine just write some codes, and then people from all around the world would work towards providing anything a machine like, right? So I mean, like, are you concerned about the potential future where the two come together and become too powerful? Yeah,
I think that might be a good problem to have, which means that we are so advanced in technology. I still really believe in humanity, in terms of like people are so smart. Just give them the problem to solve, and then they will find a way. And I think like during COVID-19, we already seen people thought it could be like the end of the world, and give time and came out with vaccination, and and now it's no longer an issue. Yeah, so I really believe in the intelligence of human. That we will find a way to control all this artificial intelligence.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, even if there's something happens, the very small groups of intelligent people could find a way out, right?
Could find a way out. Yeah.
Yeah, let's look forward to that.
Yeah. But that's a very good point. I really should think about that. That can the machine take over the financial system, because of blockchain is the financial system for the machine, right? Yeah.
But I mean, like, it would be very, I still feel like it's very exciting to live in such age to witness all of this happening, right? And see
Yeah,
how
yeah.
it goes.
That's right. Yeah, I know. I like that phrase from Lenin when he said that there's a decade when nothing happened, and then there's a week that decade happened. And yeah, right now just feel so excited. I feel like I'm so lucky to came into SCB 10X, and then immediately this like DeFi took off in a big way, and then now I'm here, and then generative AI is take off in a big way because actually like AI area has been there for a long time. Actually, my older sister studied natural language processing in college, and I used to talk to her like, "What are you studying NLP? What it is like natural language?" And then she would tell me about NLP when for like more than 20 years, right? Nothing really happened until recently that if you know NLP, that's it. It's really good for your career. That you can
Yeah.
do all these like large language model development, generative AI. Yeah.
But for ordinary people who's not that sophisticated in like AI and that area, are there any resources and that you would recommend for people to learn more about? I mean, like how AI and blockchain could, I mean, combine and offer revolutionary products to people. Or are there any, I mean, like recommendations that you make to normal, I mean, like persons with limited knowledge? Yeah. Or have
Mm,
been publishing any of the research, or I mean refer to any of the research sources or any
mm,
course to recommend to people?
yeah, I see. No, we do a lot of study internally, and then we do a lot of research. But yeah, maybe we should open that to public. So that's a very
Oh,
interesting idea.
this
But
is that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but in general, like there's just so much available online for people to go read. Like I think Sequoia published a very good paper on generative AI that we
Mm,
all read, and then I think State of AI.
mm,
Every year they wrote about like what's happening um, on AI, like what's happening, what's interesting related to AI. So state of AI is something that people should like really go read and understand. But yeah, but in general, like it's so much available online right now. Can just go and then all the paper too, because like when we look at all these generative AI area, we just read a lot of papers, and then it will always have like link to other areas that you can check it out, and yeah, everything is available right now. I'm very jealous of the students nowadays, the young generation, because I think back then when you are very young too, when I studied, um there's no resources like this that available online.
sure. Yeah. And I just realized that the topic is so interesting that we are running out of
Mm,
time.
mm,
But I mean, like one very important part I would love to learn from you is about women in crypto. You also mentioned that your sisters being in this stage and the space, and you yourself is definitely a role model for lots of women's who are interested in the tech sector, right? But are you seeing like more opportunity for women in today's
mhm.
time? And why? Yeah.
Yeah, um I think definitely there's a lot of opportunity because I think in general we see women um, in high position, especially in Asia, right? I think and US as well. But yeah, I think that for women in general, um, there's always a lot of responsibility, right? That we have to balance between like family and career, and then I see a lot of my friends who probably even much more smarter than me and more capable than me. They have to choose to probably take like a bit backseat in their career because they want to balance the family responsibility. I think in general, like for me, I try to get as much help as possible. Um, when my daughter was born, I actually moved back to Asia because I feel that if I continue to be in the US, in New York at the time, I wouldn't be able to do that much in my career. Having like a young child while in investment management, so I moved back here because in Asia you could get a lot of help, right, from your family or from the helper and things like that. Because I enjoy working. I actually have a lot of energy, and so like every day I am always full of energy and I want to do things. And for me, like the worst thing that could happen is that I don't get to learn new things, or I get to do new things, or I promise people that I would do something and then I couldn't deliver, or I think that I wanted to do this, our team do this, and then we couldn't do until the end. That is like my worst nightmare. I just want to see things through, and so like the balancing between um career and family. I think that's the most like difficult thing for women, and so I would suggest that probably like you have to think about your priority in life. People have different priority in life, but I know myself that I have way too much energy to actually not spending on something that I want to do, and so I try to optimize by finding help as much as possible, and I travel a lot. I therefore like ask my in-laws to actually come to live with me, and that is
Wow.
also something that very different too, because I think for a lot of women, right,
Yeah.
they might find a little bit difficult to actually living with their in-laws because they have to adjust the way of living. But for me, I don't mind. I'm very lucky. I have the in-laws who are very understanding and very nice. So they also here to help me with my child and things like that. Yeah. So I think it depends. My advice the most for women who really would like to develop their career is to seek help, find help, and then also have mentor. I have people who are my mentor. I don't think they know that they are my mentor, but I always like reach out to people when I want to get advice, and always like kind of have the people who um, either in the career path that you really want to go to, or the
Hmm.
people that you really admire in their career, and then like for advice. And in general, for career wise, I would suggest people to think about like what they want to achieve in 3 years and 5 years, and then see whether what they're doing right now is that going towards that 3 years plan and 5 year plan. Because if it's not, then they probably should change, because like what you're doing today should be helping you to achieve the goal in 3 years and 5 years. Otherwise, you should adjust your life right now, because there are
Yeah.
a lot of time that I feel that I should change, and then I was like, oh, I'm too comfortable. Maybe like wait for another year, and then when you start feeling like that, it's actually the time to change always, and then don't procrastinate or don't prolong. When you have that feeling, you have to always think about um, the past, 3 year, 5 year from now. That is my opinion. Yeah, when people ask me on the advice for the career, yeah, that's I always advise that, always thinking about like how you plan for the next 3 years, because what you're doing today should be helping toward achieving that goal. Or otherwise, you should probably change and then have the mentor who can help you giving the advice. Because sometimes when you are the general in the middle of your own war, you wouldn't see it clearly. But other people who have been in similar war, or they have seen people in similar war, that can give you good advice.
Yeah, that's very, very helpful. In terms of finding good mentors, do you have any suggestions for women? Say, how do you find one, and did you just, take the initiative to approach those
Mm,
mentors? How do you,
mm.
find their help? Yeah.
Yeah, I have people that I admire who are men and women, and I just approach them. Yeah, when to talk to them, and I just ask people to introduce me to them, and then go talk to them. Try to keep in touch. Always make sure if there is any excuse, you meet them or you bring them to talk, and yeah, continue to keep in touch and get advice when you need. But make sure that you also be there for them as well if they need help or they need anything. Make sure that uh, they know that you really feel gratitude to it, the help. Yeah.
I see. Thanks very much indeed. It's very, very helpful, and appreciate all the advices and
Hmm.
insights that you offers. And would also wish you yourself and your funds and every success,
Hmm.
right, in the industry
Yeah.
as well. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank
for the
you, Rachel.
Thanks for listening to the FutureX podcast. Subscribe on Spotify or wherever you're listening to this episode.